healing doesn't belong to any religion. I've had people coming to me and asking me, like, because they see angels in my this thing, they also see Shivji. So they say, is it Hindu? Is it Christianity? What is it? So I said, it's basically just the source energy. So the source energy is the same for, the whole universe.
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ, ಪ್ರಜಾವಾಹಿನಿಗೆ ಸ್ವಾಗತ. ನಾನು ಅರ್ಚನಾ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ. ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಲೈಫ್ ಸ್ಟೈಲ್ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಇತ್ತೀಚಿನ ಸಮಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಆಲ್ಟರ್ನೇಟಿವ್ ಹೀಲಿಂಗ್ ಮೊಡ್ಯಾಲಿಟೀಸ್ ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಪ್ರಾಮುಖ್ಯತೆಯನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿದ್ದಾವೆ. ಟುಡೇ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಎ ಕ್ಲಾರ್ವಾಯಂಟ್, ಎ ಸೈಕಿಕ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಎ ಹೀಲರ್ who uses hypnosis and Reiki as a part of her healing. She has great telepathic abilities and also can perceive the events in future with her great sixth sense. She gives a new meaning to spirituality and speaks about the energies we are all surrounded by with a new understanding. Let's try and understand and absorb what she has to offer us. Welcoming Harleen Bajwa on this show, the most compassionate person I've ever met till date. Namaskara, Harleen.
Namaskar.
ನಮ್ಮ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ವಾಗತ.
Thank you, Archana.
So what exactly is healing?
So all of us healers basically believe that everything around us, everything you touch, you wear, you own, everything is built up of energy. So basically healing is a process where you have the transfer of that energy to the person who basically needs it, who is lacking that kind of energy, and he feels complete with that energy. So healers, that's our job, to just transfer that energy to the person who is in requirement of it.
So for a person who comes to healing, what is that understanding they come? Not everybody would know about it. So how would you take that person into the process, or what is the information you give the person before you start a session?
Okay, so if I have somebody who doesn't know what healing is, so many people come to me as, very raw, asking me, madam, what do you do? So it's like, when madam, what do you do, it starts from A, B, C, I have to basically tell them what healing is, just as I explained that everything is made up of energy. And then I also have to ask them, how willing are they to bring about the change the energy is going to do with them? So, it's a two-way road, Archana. I probably just can't keep feeding you with things and she's doing my healing, so I can just, stay back and just enjoy what I'm doing. No, you have to put in an equal effort, because the changes which are going to happen within, you are going to have a realization of it. So many people started from day one when they meet me, but then it also, it's how close a person you are. It's like, how willing are you to absorb that energy which I am ready to give it to you. So he has to be ready, he has to be willing to work on himself. So that is my first question which I ask my client. You've come here with a lot of hope, with a lot of expectation. What I would expect from you is just one small thing, that are you willing to work on yourself? If you are ready to do that, rest is taken care of.
Great.
So it's like that.
Than being in the receptive mode, you also expect the person to have faith in healing. Will that work only if faith is there? Otherwise also it works?
No, I think faith is one very strong aspect which a person should come with, because as we believe, even as a healer, we believe that faith can shake mountains. So if you have faith in the process, faith in your healer, there has to be some kind of trust in your healer, because what you are going to talk to your healer stays between you and the healer. So that trust, that faith has to be built up. And I'm sure first time you meet a healer, you know that this person is going to do something for you. I mean, it might not come immediately, but once you have a dialogue with the person, she has something in store and I want that. It's like that. So many people come with that intuition, they trust that intuition and they go with it. Many people keep denying it for a while, maybe 3 sessions, 4 sessions, and when they are really hit on it, as in, see, I have sensed this, break it right now, you have to face it. So that is when they come out with it. Yes, we are ready to face it. So some people take time, they do it gradually, some do it instantly. It's like in the first session, they are in a different world.
Wow.
It's like that.
That's
And,
amazing.
yeah. So it depends on person to person because every individual is different.
So we have researchers proving that there have been cures and also eased out the process of their treatments, keep it cancer, the chronic pains or different kinds of ailments. So what exactly is done in the healing that people feel a lot of relief in their physical being?
Yeah. So, I have had patients going through chemotherapy. I've had patients of, people with high depression, anxiety disorders, sleeplessness. It could be one block in their mind regarding money. It could be a block in their mind, regarding the way they are living their life, that this is the only way it can be done, and they don't look beyond. So we open different windows and doors, as in where the perspective is concerned. So they start looking at life in a different way. And for patients, it's like we don't tell them that stop taking medicine, because healings go hand in hand with the scientific medication what the doctor has actually prescribed you with. And this eases out, and said it could relieve you of pain. So I have had chemotherapy patients who have a lot of reactions after the chemotherapy. They come in with they have upset stomach, they don't eat food because the cells in the mouth are damaged because of radiation, and there's a lot of internal stuff that has been happening with the cancer patient. It's mentally and physically both. So they are looked upon as, okay, fine, he has cancer, I need to be aware. That shouldn't be there in the society, because they are already undergoing a lot of mess internally. So people need to comfort them somewhere or the other. So what healings basically do is they would release their pain. They would not allow the side effects to happen so strongly on them. So they eat better, they feel a lot of energy in the body, and after the first 2 chemos they don't have healing. So when after the 3rd chemo they have a healing, and they see the difference. Or their children come to me saying that, wow, this is like, she's eating food, there's no loose stomach, because these are all the side effects of chemotherapy. And many people go through this was just one aspect what I related to chemotherapy. There could be anxiety disorders in which you could probably have sleepless nights. So I have clients wherein I am doing a session with them and they are in deep sleep. They are actually snoring. So that is when they are most vulnerable. So it's not important you have to be wide awake and you have to see what is happening, or you have to judge yourself for what is happening inside your body. It's like you just take it easy, you just lie down and just allow the source to take over. So it could better your sleep. It could make you feel more at ease with yourself, comfortable in the body that you are. It could definitely do away with the side effects, reduce them at least to 70-80%. And then I have clients who were on depression medication. I have, I'm not a doctor, I cannot, I don't probably have the power of doing it, but eventually, they've been taken off depression medicines.
Wow.
Yes.
That's
So this
amazing.
really works miraculously. I mean, you need to experience it. You need to have one experience of how the healing works. And obviously when they feel so much at ease, and when they get very compassionate with themselves, because till date they've just been ignoring their emotions and whatever they're going through. But this, if you have a particular muscle pain or you have a stomach upset, it would not only treat your stomach upset. So when I, put you as a recipient of my healing, you would get healed all over your body. So I would get messages where this basically started from. So we could go to the core of it and heal it. You could take your medication to superficially heal it, because it's very important. You cannot bear the pain you're going through at that time. So I could say very not so permanently. You could take your medicines, but as the healing takes over, as you are more receiving to the healing, the medicines could be pulled off, and they have been pulled off.
That's great to know that healing has such amazing side effects which are beautiful for oneself. ನಮ್ಗೆ ತಿಳಿದ ಹಾಗೆ ಮೆಡಿಸಿನ್ ಹಾಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಬಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ರೂಟ್ ಕಾಸ್ ಹೋಗಿ ಅದನ್ನು ತೆಗೆಯೋದು ಬಹಳ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ನನಗನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಈ ಹೀಲಿಂಗ್ನ ಯಾವ ಏಜ್ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಕೊಡ್ಬೋದು, ಇಲ್ಲ ಬರೀ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಸೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಆಫ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ಗೆ ಕೊಡ್ಬೋದಾ? ಈಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಓಪನ್ ಫಾರ್ ಎನಿಬಡಿ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಎವ್ರಿ ಒನ್?
Of course it is. You don't need age, there's no age bar. A newborn could receive healing because, and it's like, you know, sometimes we say okay, it's a girl or a boy. It really doesn't matter, because when a baby is born, the energy of a girl and a boy is same. He's born with the same true powers which could be or could not be enhanced by his parents or his relatives. And you know, it's always that the baby girl has been, you know, looked down to or whatever, and boys are like, you know, emotionally you can't cry, emotionally you can't show up, you know, it's that's a set of beliefs how we are brought up with. So this has no age bar, no sex bar, absolutely nothing. Anybody at any age could receive healings, and it could basically cure the illness from the core. It's not just, you know, it's happening superficially. So when a healing is happening, your body would also undergo a lot of changes. You could, maybe the anxiety you've you know, suppressed within would start coming up. So when the you know, the client tells me
How
that,
do
okay,
one handle that?
exactly, so I am very open to receiving calls from the clients and being there for them. I need a feedback every second, third day from the client, because healing sessions don't happen every day. You know, it happens once in 5 days, because what I believe is the healing begins once the healing is done. So if today I am doing your healing, it's going to seep in your body, it's going to get deeper in the next 2-3 days. You have to feel the numbed emotions, the numbed anxiety, what you've been actually covering up with medication. You have to actually feel that, let it come up. So once it comes up, we have different ways what a client could do to take care of himself in the next 4-5 days, 6 days, till he comes back for healing.
So will you equip them in that process, how to handle them also?
Yes, that is why I want a feedback from them, how they are doing, what is coming up for them, what is actually not coming up. Something which was very important at the beginning, in these 5 days it might not even come up, because that is not the issue. The issue lies somewhere else, which is now actually, you know, getting risen. So he or she, whoever it is, he has to actually face it at that time. So it's all about facing your fears, all what you've ignored through life. It could be relationship, it could be relationship with your parents, it could be undealt issues which you know, most of us want to just push it below the carpet. Jane de, I mean, you know, parva illa, we keep doing that, and it's like that parva illa actually leads to that pain which we are not even aware of. So everything or every change happening in the body is probably, it's a sign of something related to your past. It could not happen overnight. So either you've not dealt with that issue, either you have a mental block, either you are born and brought up, you're not born with those beliefs, but you are definitely brought up with those beliefs, with a certain kind of patterns, maybe anxiety of your parents, which they've unknowingly passed it on to you. It's not important, but you as a child were so vulnerable that you just kept absorbing what they gave you. You know, and when you hit a certain point, it's like, oh, it's too much, why can't I take it? So that is when people think of alternate therapies, you know, when they're fed up of medication, how many medicines in a day. So definitely this does go hand in hand with medicine.
That's lovely. So you're going to the core of that particular issue.
Yes.
And make the person understand where they are and what they're feeling or thinking, and try and remove that. The health complications and mental health, whatever illness they're facing, is cleared.
Right. So once the mental block of a certain thing is removed, the pain automatically decreases, because you've built it in there, you know, you've started with that. So this is getting into the nitty-gritty of healings, and you know, it's just about that. It could be any modality in healing, but any healer would definitely, you know, work on the core issue and not superficially. You can't do healing superficially. Yeah.
And not dumping your body with so many medicines also. It's like
Exactly.
getting the core cleared.
Exactly.
And
which is very important, Archana, which is very important. We don't believe in it. We just, it's paining, matre tagombidi, ಎಷ್ಟು ಮಾತ್ರೆ ತಿಂತೀರಾ? I mean, there's a limit of how much medicine you can intoxicate your body with. So, just to put an end to that, or, to withdraw with the medicines, obviously if you leave the medication, you'll be to square one. But where you are supported with this source energy, you don't go back to square one. You're taken care of, and then you start living that way. So your life pattern changes, your beliefs change, everything changes, and then you are totally a different person once you've healed.
That's amazing. So health-wise you're sorted, abundance or whatever you want follows.
So blocks could be anything. It could be financial blocks, mental financial blocks, like how we attend courses and we learn from them that, being rich is not good. Why being rich is not good? I mean, that's just a mental block. ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಕಾಸು ಬಂದಿದ್ರೆ ಇದಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅದಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಏನಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಬಿ ಓಪನ್ ಟು just receiving. You deserve the best because you're here on this earth to enjoy everything. Just take it very positively, and and healing is not an overnight process. Or you healing your body, it doesn't happen overnight. It has to be in constant. So if you have to bring about the change, there has to be some meditation or some kind of self work going on in the background.
Okay, so healing always needs to be supported by a particular meditations you advise them?
Meditations, affirmations, there is so much you could look into. There is self-care. Certain people go through certain patterns, so you have to break those patterns. It's a lot of self-work. It's not easy that I give you healing, I do it and it's done. It's not like that. It's like I could place it in a beautiful silver and gold platter and serve it to you. I could also put the morsel in your mouth, but who's going to do the chewing? Neeve maadbeku. You have to do it. You have to do it for yourself. And I think it's high time people realize they need to work on themselves.
ಹೀಲಿಂಗ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಸೈಂಟಿಫಿಕ್ ಆಗಿ ಏನಿದೆ, ಲಾಜಿಕಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಏನಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳೋರಿಗೆ, ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ವಿ ಡೂ ಆಸ್ ಅನ್ ಇನ್ನರ್ ವರ್ಕ್ which helps the person not only remove the core issues of health issues of physical or mental issues, but to grow as an individual. Adu eshtu mattakke aa growth innadante we don't have any control, but it just keeps
it's
growing.
Abundant. It's just abundant. It's how much you are allowing to come to you. Supposing you get a wonderful job and you're paid very successfully, and okay, fine, that's enough. Now why would you say that when it's already coming to you? Just keep growing.
So apart from the health issues or the money issues, what other ways healing can be useful? In what other aspects of life can healing help?
It could support the mental and the physical growth of a person, because due to abuse, mental, physical abuse, anything which really happens in some parts of India, or it's really a thing. It's a very sad thing to say, but it is happening. So your growth could be stunted. Again, we would go back to the age of 4 or 5, where it actually started from. Who actually sowed the seed within you? So at the time of healing, you could probably get intuitions. You could you could see glances as just some mirror images coming in front of you, and probably those were your teachers at that time. So nobody is a bad person to give you a bad experience. It is just that he or she has learned it that way. So it doesn't come from any part of judgmental perspective that okay, certain set of people are nice people and certain set of people are not nice people, or they are right and they are wrong. There is nothing like this. That's what I believe in. So it's your experiences which will tell you, okay, fine, I should do this. It might get right for me, as people put it nowadays, and it might go the other way also. But then it's just your belief. So something which is right for me could be wrong for you, and something which is wrong for you could be right for me. So it's anyways, it's just like the way you look at it. It's just the way you look at it.
We're speaking about right and wrong, and somewhere healing has been sometimes put into like which religion does it belong to. So what do you have to say about it?
So healing doesn't belong to any religion. I've had people coming to me and asking me, like, because they see angels in my this thing, they also see Shivji. So they say, is it Hindu? Is it Christianity? What is it? So I said, it's basically just the source energy. So the source energy is the same for, the whole universe. It doesn't segregate whether you are a Hindu or he's a Kannadiga or I'm a Punjabi or you're a Muslim. It will not segregate. If you are open to it, you will receive it. Period. So it's not about Hinduism, it's not about any religion here, Archana. We don't talk about religion. We just talk about that one connection. That's about it.
How did your journey has begun as a healer? Now I'm so intrigued to know about that because you have like wide variety of topics to speak about.
Okay. So, I could sense a little bit of energies in my childhood, but we were always bought with this, thing of booth. So, when I could sense these energies, I was like, I don't know whether I'm right or wrong. So, I lost my dad when I was around 11, 12 years of age, and I could, in the house, I could see him here and there at times, and I would like, pata nahi unka bhoot ghum rahe or what. I wouldn't get into myself saying that, okay, fine, I am connecting to his energy. I did not have that knowledge at that age, and I didn't have any guidance about it, so I just let it be. And when we used to sit with friends, I used to tell them कि ये ऐसे है वो वैसे, but then everything was, it's like मस्ती में everything used to just go away. It was like you just laugh about it and we finish it there and then. And slowly, I mean, it just got into it. I got married and I was into meditation all the time. So it's more than 25, 26 years that I'm doing meditation, and slowly the powers, I think they just got enhanced. And one of my childhood friends, she happened to come to Bangalore to visit me after, I think, almost 20 years. I think she just came for this. So basically she came, and then, probably I discussed this, that I can sense so many things, and, I can sense energies around me. So she had a healer whom she basically came to see in Bangalore. So she told me, Haleen, would you want to visit her? So I said, all right, I mean, I'm open to it. Let's see what is in store for me. So I went with her, and I got my healings done, because at that time the healer told me I was well guided. They said it's not good what's happening internally, and she could see things and whatever. She healed me. And then after that, suddenly, the spirits I could connect to, the spirit world I could connect to, turned to very different faces I started seeing. And then again, that was a big question mark for me. Now what? I mean, that has stopped, connection to the spirit world, but this is something new that's coming up. So I found one more healer and I went to her, I spoke to her. So as soon as I entered, she said, you're a clairvoyant. So I said, excuse me, what's that? So this was like 15, 17 years back when I didn't even know what a clairvoyant was. So she said, I can see so many things with you. And I was like, oh my God, now that's getting a little spooky. Why can you see things with me? So she said, no, it's all positive, and I just want to let you know. And that's how my, I got more knowledge about things. And then I started trusting myself more, because initially I had that hitch. I don't know whether it's right or whether it's wrong, because I was brought up, I was brought up with those, inheritance or beliefs ke ye sahi hota hai, bhoot galat hota hai, this, that. But, they are also spirits, they are also energy. So, yeah, so now I do both. I do angels, I do spirit work.
So you see everything as energy, pure
yes,
energy.
Everything is energy.
And nothing is bad.
Nothing is bad. So there are spirits. There is this soul world which is there, but they wouldn't harm you, Archana. They at times support you for healing. They wouldn't harm you without any reason, because if they are stuck in some kind of a place. So I also do energy release from places. So if there is some energy stuck, okay, in a particular place and in a particular house or whatever, so you could probably, people get in touch and they say that we can sense this and things are not going good and we are not financially doing well from the time we came here, and there are different sorts of experiences. So then I take a day's time, I get into the details. So if I sense energy is there, then they need a release. So probably when these spirits from their own, they are released from this constant stagnant energy and sent back to their world, they are more than happy. And at times I wonder how that person would get in touch with me, because I have no link. So it comes via a third, fourth person. Somebody will tell the second person will tell the third person, okay fine, I think I know Harleen, she'll do it. So it comes to me. So it's very magical how things come to me. So then I sit and I join the dots. Okay, this happened because of that, So there's always, nothing happens by chance. So it's just meant to be. You're meant to meet some person. Probably at some time they need to gain something from you, or they probably just need that energy push from you. It's just about that. Yeah.
It's like you're speaking like a magician right now for me.
It's a very different world, Archana. It is. I mean, many people would say, it's like, what is she talking about? Because many believe, many don't believe, but that's all right. I mean, I would not force people to believe what I say, but it is an experience. If you experience it, you automatically get into the gist of it. Okay, fine, it comes from here and it goes there. It's nothing harmful. So you have that trust. Okay, fine, we are.
See, now that you're with this understanding,
Yeah.
But initially when you were in that process of like discovering or rediscovering yourself, how was it then?
It was a little messy, as I could put it, though I don't use these words much, but it was a little messy in the brain for me, because I couldn't tell people, or I couldn't even discuss with immediate family what I was feeling at that time. But internally there was a lot of stuff going on, and I think I had made it a very clear statement to myself that whatever it is, it's going to be positive for me, and I'm going to work on myself to be there. So I probably started working on myself pretty early, and if you see me as a person, what I am today, I was not this 10-15 years ago. I was also very insecure. I had my own inhibitions. I had my own insecurities of things, people, there was a lot which was, piled on. So I gradually attended sessions, or I worked on myself on daily meditations to, just be what I am today. It's not that our karma is different from people who, normal beings. We are like just one among them. We have our own set of karma to face. We go through things as other people do, but it's just that we have that core strength and we know how to get out of it, maybe a little more earlier than a normal person would, or a little more quicker or faster than a normal person would.
So you understand things better. You make your life easier for yourself, is what you meant to say?
Yeah, easier for myself, and I also try to do it for the people around me, because they feel that sense of worth. They feel that, okay, fine, life becomes better when you talk to somebody, especially if you talk to a healer and, you are guided at that point. So, okay, fine, you're in the right hands and things will come to a positive change, things will rest at a positive stage. So that's how it works. I mean, for me, it's been working always. So yeah, having my
Blessed
own,
are you.
Yeah. So having my own share of experiences with people in the community, outside the community, be it friend circle, I've faced everything, almost everything. It could be like, you name ill emotion and I've been through it, but it's just that I've survived all of it.
And you have helped them too.
Yes. So it's all about forgiveness also. I mean, that's a very different topic which we would, might take it ahead, but it's a very detailed topic, forgiveness and all that. It's quite a lot into details where it comes from, but that's a very important aspect in healing.
We are here to make our life easier and a better person.
Yeah, and I think it's all about, when it comes to the basic of anything, it's all about you and the source energy. It's nothing to do with that person.
In any instance.
In any instance. So you be true to yourself. You say what you feel, because if the person is even judging you, doesn't matter. At least you are true to yourself, Archana. So you will not be bullying yourself. You will not have that guilt tomorrow that you lied or whatever. Your conscience is clear. It will definitely get on somewhere. And if the person is not meant to be in your vibration, just let him go.
So you feel the connection with the source energy or the universe, whatever you say is true when you're true to yourself.
Absolutely. That is the basic core of being connected to the energy. You have to connect to yourself. You can't shut your doors and then say, okay, fine. First, you at least connect within, because you know we say that he resides in everyone. That source energy which is outside me is also inside me. You know, so first have that self connection. We shut all our doors and we want to connect to the neighbors, we want to connect to the next building, we want to connect to, you know, maybe different countries, but we don't have connection with ourselves. So that is very, very important.
I think that's the core point everyone needs to focus on. Great. So, spiritually, in today's world, whatever you speak makes a lot of sense. So, if I would ask you, how do you interpret COVID 19 in your spiritual way, or the view you see from a very spiritual lens?
So COVID-19, I don't have much to say about it because everybody is calling it a pandemic, which I believe it is. There are scientists doing research every day, going, you know, to heights to reach medicinal this thing, but it's been almost 10, 11 months and nothing has come up. So the suffering, I think people were meant to suffer or to go through the changes what came up to their life. I'm no one to decide whether it was meant for suffering or whatever, but that has happened. You have to just accept it. You have to just grow with it. You know, this has brought up, you know, many people are left jobless because of COVID. Many people have left their, you know, states and gone to their hometowns. So basically I would look at it as it's connecting you to your roots, because nobody would think of leaving a lavish life in a city and going back to your hometown, especially when everything is about money. So you know, there are people who have, you know, they're working from hometown. I'm not saying everybody's job is gone. They are working from hometown. Some have, you know, just quit and gone back. When things are going to get normal, they're going to come back because they know their hometown is going to take care of them. You know, at least food, basic necessity will be provided there. There are rentals all over which they don't have to take care. So I think COVID is basically putting people to get on connection with their roots. They are getting connected to their roots. Otherwise nobody would think of going to a village and staying there, or going to a small town and staying there. You know,
That's a beautiful interpretation.
that's what I feel. It's just connecting you more to the source energy, because it's been all about that. It's there are so many people who are doing self introspection in this period, coming up with new things. Oh wow, I had this capability but I was not aware of it. People have started baking and painting, their IT, you know, at very good posts, but they're doing paintings. The moms have been baking. They've started their own home bakeries. I mean, this was really very surprising, but you know, eventually it's bringing out the best in everyone. There are people who are suffering. There's a lot of torture, there's a lot of suffer, there's a lot of sadness around, but I think you just do your bit, you know, to comfort somebody and just be in that positive thing.
Yes, definitely connecting to our roots is one good thing we can do for ourselves. So, in all this chaos or in these challenging times, what would you suggest our audience to follow as a self-healing technique? If you can give a bit of it, that would be very helpful.
Okay, so I very well connect to this term of grounding, which is very, very self-sufficient. Even if you are undergoing some kind of anxiety or something, there's some kind of restlessness in your body, you don't understand what's happening, or you know, you just probably go and do this grounding. So for this grounding you need a little bit of grass, which we have plenty in Bangalore, and all these communities nowadays have that, you know, the landscaping and all that. So what you could do is you could probably just, you know, in the olden days, I would just connect to one thing before that. In the olden days, people used to walk barefoot. You know, that was when they had this connection with Mother Earth, which is a very powerful connection, which we've forgotten. So even in the house, we want to wear branded slippers and all that. We don't have any kind of connection with Mother Earth. You say, you know, you want to sit on the floor. It's like, oh, you want to sit on the floor. I mean, you know, that's also taken as like, why would you want to sit on the floor? But it's very earthing, it's very soothing, it's very relaxing. That's the reason even our ancestors used to sit on the floor and eat food, because that posture basically helps digestion. But we've all forgotten. We have our wonderful displayed dining tables and we have our chairs, and You know, we just want to be in a world of luxury, and you know, we don't relate to the roots. So this technique, which is called grounding, it would basically, you know, you could wear your shoes and go to the grass area. You could probably remove your footwear there and then place your feet on the ground and stand for say a couple of seconds. You could feel some kind of energy. You say to yourself mentally that you are here to release the negative toxins and the anxiety which is present in your body, and Mother Earth has always been taking care of us. She will do the needful. You know, you just have to request her that, you know, Mother Earth, I just request you to just help me release these negative toxins in my body, and you know, give me a space of calm. So you stand in one place, just, you know, if you're comfortable, close your eyes for 15-20 seconds, maybe 30 seconds, and just try to release the emotions into Mother Earth, which you are standing. It will happen from below your feet. So just allow that. Some people get a tingling sensation, some people feel a little, you know, wavy or dizzy when they are doing that. That's very okay. It's very normal. So just allow that to happen. If you can stand for more than 1-2 minutes, it's very good, but many people cannot. If you can do it for that much time, and then, you know, probably just take a step ahead or in the side, again barefoot, and now you request Mother Earth to give you her positivity. Allow all the positivity of Mother Earth to get into your body. Just bring it up through your feet. You know, imagine how you have released from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet and then into Mother Earth. Now you will do just the opposite. You will now take the energy from Mother Earth and bring it up. Let it come, let it come, let it come. When you feel you are, you know, all surrounded by it, cut it out. Just keep taking 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes. You just allow that to happen. Every person feels different while doing it. Every person could have different emotion coming up at that. Don't judge yourself for it. Just allow it to happen. Just surrender. And after you feel you are done, because you will have this feeling, okay, now I think I'm fine, I can go back. You wear your slippers and you go home, and next half an hour you see how you're feeling. It just shifts your energy. It's just so magical. So this is a very basic technique which I tell most of my clients to do it, because it doesn't cost you anything. It just takes 5 or 7 minutes of yours. If you do it, you know, every alternate day or second, third, it's good. But you know, once a week or twice a week to kar hi lena chahiye, you know, for your naturally, or you know, to get rid of the toxins in your body.
That's it, the easiest way one can do it.
Very simple yet very powerful.
So to be a healer, are you like acquiring the skills in the process, or you're inborn, like naturally blessed with these qualities? Like how are you like this?
So it's both ways, I guess. Many people are born with the capability of being a clairvoyant. They have these psychic powers which earlier maybe they're not aware of, or maybe they are aware of. Then you could also introduce yourself to different modalities, whatever you get attracted to. So we have, you know, it's healing is a very vast world. There are innumerable kinds of healings happening. You know, the modalities are very different, yet they are still connected to the source energy, but they work in different ways. So it's you know, you could get attracted to something as simple as Reiki, which is happening all over nowadays, you know, and you could do a wonderful job just with that. People work with crystals, people work with you know, hypnotherapy, they work with assess bars. There are so many to name. I mean, you know, so it's not, it has to be a inborn quality, and not everybody can be a healer. It's like why I would say not everybody can be a healer, because it's a lot of self work and it's an effort. So the day I realized that when I sit in my meditation, just with those 10 minutes of sending energy to somebody else, being in my comfort zone, I can probably make him feel better. I was like on top of the world. I was like, wow, this is like, you know, it's so amazing. It's so magical. What have I done? Just, you know, it takes a lot of effort though to connect to the energies, because the person who needs healing is already in that negative space. So you need to mentally, emotionally bring him out of it. So I think it's not everybody's job. It takes effort. It sounds very simple. Okay, fine. You send me healing, yeah. You send me. It sounds very simple. You're going to receive healing, but then, are you ready to make that change after you receive the healing? So that's the first question where, the second question where we started from, and we're back there. So anybody can, learn healing, but it needs a lot of passion to follow it throughout, because it's again a process. You need to keep constantly working on yourself. So if you see me today, it would be like, you asked me this question a couple of times earlier, that how are you so, ever full of energy? So it's a lot of effort, Archana. It's not like, I have my own days, I have my own time. Every person does. I think if you're born, you face different kind of emotions in life. But then it's just that, you know how to pick yourself out of it. You know how to jump out of it.
That's Harleen's magic too.
It's not Harleen's magic. I think it's just a healer's way to connect to the energy. Yeah.
Before we close, what message do you want to give to our audience with this new topic?
Okay, so I think most people would relate to me when I say that self-care or self-love is one of the most important aspects which we need to work on. So, we say we cannot pour from an empty cup. You need to have your cup full to give something to somebody. So you are basically going and helping your neighbors, you're helping your friends, you're helping your children, but are you helping yourself? So first you take care of yourself and everything else will follow. So self-love and self-care, it's a priority. I would always recommend everybody to, be in that consistency of self-love, that you create healthy boundaries around you. Now with boundaries, I also mean that it's not that you have those high built emotional walls, you don't allow people to enter. No, it's not like this. It's like you need to have emotional balance with the energy around you, which again needs an effort and a constant effort to do it. But if you start today, I think 10-15 days from now, you'll definitely feel you've reached somewhere. So, if you feel you're getting abused physically, mentally, in any part of your life, put your foot down. It takes a lot of courage to say no. You could go with the flow, you could, say a yes to everybody, but when you have to say a no, it definitely takes an effort. Because you've not done it till today. What am I doing? Why would I say no? But say it, baby, because you need to stand there for yourself. So that takes an effort. Going with everybody, following the same stream doesn't take effort, but self-love, self-care is an effort. And one more thing I would want to tell everybody was, forgive people. There's so much of emotional imbalance. Again, there's violence, there's so much of negative, intensity around us. We really don't need it, Archana. It's not required. It's just that because you carry hurt within yourself, you are not ready to heal yourself. So hurt people, right? So if you are hurt, you will definitely go and hurt people, because you don't know where it's coming from. You have heard it, you have been abused, so you will basically go and abuse the other person. But that is the thing that, you have to learn to first take care of yourself, which comes with a lot of self-forgiveness also. It's not always about forgiving others. At some point, you also need to forgive yourself. You could feel guilty, you could self-abuse. Self-talk is something which you need to be very careful about. I am like this only, I do this all the time, it happens to me only. This is not wanted. You could put it, you could just change it to very positive, we call that affirmations, just a simple sentence that I am good, I am good enough, I am enough, I am wonderful, I am an amazing human being. Just start saying these things to yourself and every energy around you will change. So just take that one step today. I would request everybody to take that one step today and see the change in the next 15-20 days or 1 month time. You'll definitely vibrate higher. I vouch for that, you'll definitely vibrate.
That's a beautiful way to sum it up. Self-care is the best way of healing. As Nikola Tesla said, if you want to connect with the universe, think in terms of energy, vibration and frequency. And here you are speaking the same lines. Thank you so much for your wonderful time, Harleen.
Thank you for
Dhanyawada.
having me here, Archana. And please, everybody, just take good care of yourselves. That's the most important and the most least you can do for yourself.